Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be going over some unfortunate information, but also giving you the heads up to just be a little bit cautious, throw caution to the wind, and get a little bit better understanding as to what could be happening in your area, maybe why Pokestops are moving, or if you know somebody or yourself that is getting a warning for moving a Pokestop. Say you kind of tried to move it, which you can do that through the waypoint submissions and stuff like that. Say the stop wasn't exactly where it needs to be. Let's not get too nitpicky. Like if it's basically where it's at, okay, but if it's like way off, then you can kind of try to change that. But apparently people are now getting punished for this as well and getting warnings on their accounts. So again, we've seen this before when people were submitting Pokestops or points of interest, I should say, and maybe the picture wasn't the best quality, or maybe their learning machine, basically their AI, that is kind of going through all of these submissions and determining whether or not they're good enough, sometimes would pick up it being some sort of a fake photo, or at least a photo taken from Google Maps or something like that, to kind of falsify a particular point of interest to benefit that person. Like maybe they put it at their house or right on their work if there's not an actual something there to become a point of interest. But on the other hand, if there's people who are not doing anything maliciously and they're just simply trying to put points of interest and make Pokestops and gyms and make this a better place, and I mean these things carry over through other games that Niantic does have as well. It's not just Pokemon Go, and just making it an all-around better experience, then you get punished sometimes, and that is the part that's extremely frustrating. So we do have something to take a look at here. Andres did put this tweet out. I don't know this person. I never talked to them or anything like that. I just wanted to bring it up because every so often these things start popping up and happening, and it could really make you question, what the hell did I do? And maybe not even want to start submitting stops anymore, which is horrible. Now, before we get into this, I will say my community here is amazing when it comes to, well, they're amazing in every aspect, but when it comes to making these stops, they have been on a roll, Diamond Center, my grind spot has become amazing. Every time I go, it seems like every week there's a new freaking Pokestop. I'm like, you guys are on fire. Let's go. And speaking of my community, I'm going to be getting a modded Go Plus Plus soon, and I can't wait to show you all how that does work out. That's going to be super exciting. But yeah, so taking a look at her tweets here, the summary of this is she received a warning here. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen. Let me see. There we go. All right, so account warning. We have detected activity on your account in violation of our player guidelines. You will have this warning notice for 1 day. In the future, any future transgressions may result in more server account enforcement. So kind of a little harsh, kind of a little cold-hearted there by Niantic, especially when we are the people who are doing your son of a gun job, Niantic. But then in return, the people who are putting in all this work and time that they don't have to be doing this, okay, get punished by getting warnings and timeouts and a smack on the wrist, or in some cases even account termination or banned. In some really rare cases, I think a lot of those were resolved, but that doesn't change the fact that it puts you on edge. So essentially, she has made over 200 way spots and has put on a lot of time and effort. I guess by their house, they did have a couple of Pokestops as well as gyms. And it looks like that they were getting into, she had I guess you want to call them haters, or more so, I don't want to say hater, jealous people. I don't even want to go with troll, because trolling is, I mean, you can go anywhere from being malicious to just, simple nonsense that doesn't hurt nobody. It's just you're being annoying. I say this is going to fall under just being a nuisance, pretty much, just jealousy, right? So they moved the spots, or just had them completely removed altogether. Apparently, when she went to go kind of fix and recorrect where the actual Pokestop was after somebody had moved it away from its original spot, this is when she was receiving the warning for her game, which is kind of weird to me. Again, considering we're the ones putting in the work here, and when I say, oh, we're doing their job, how about, I mean, it's fun and it's awesome that we're able to, these Pokestops and everything, they're made by the community. They're made by us, you know, and that brings a little bit more charm to it all. But if they had like some sort of a bot going around just kind of making things, I don't see the problem with that either. But there's just something more, you know, satisfying knowing that these came from an actual person. But when it does come down to this, I'm just gonna have to say, just be very cautious on what you do. And when it comes down to the people who are wanting to be malicious and kind of ruin the fun for everybody else, or you're just simply jealous that somebody has a Pokestop or gym on their house or near their house or whatever the case may be, look, I don't know, you know, who you people are, but, you know, grow up, okay? I personally have experienced it too. It hasn't, you know, I'm not gonna get into all my stories, you know, but one particular example, which isn't the craziest thing, it's just it's really petty, to be honest. There's a baseball field here, you know, you've heard the story before. I made all of the Pokestops and the gym there, which is awesome because I used to go there with my dad when I was little, and I still has all these memories now with the Pokestops. And I made a route too that goes around this baseball field, and it was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. I go back, you know, I forgot how long it was until I made it, until this particular thing happened. But mine was removed, and somebody had actually replaced it with the exact trail that I did. Now, I can't necessarily blame this person 100% quite yet because I did have my other routes removed for whatever reason. I don't want to be too malicious and think this way, that somebody was going around just reporting all of my stops or my routes, because there was one that did cross the street that I would agree, yeah, it's probably not the best because you're technically not supposed to be driving and playing, so it's not necessarily accessible on foot unless you jaywalk, which, there you go, that's why it was removed. But the other ones I went around the mall, those were removed too. Could have been an automatic thing that just took them away, maybe, so there is that. But I don't know, I haven't really necessarily had to deal with this kind of thing before. You would think the more Pokestops, the more gyms you have, the happier you would be. If I see somebody who has a freaking gym or a Pokestop on their house, if your first thought is, oh, why do they get it and I don't, then you got to reevaluate your life, okay? Take it easy. Be happy for them. So what? Go build yourself a free little library legitimately, and maybe you can get one day too, all right? It's not that damn difficult. Well, I mean, it could be, but anyway, I don't want to do anything crazy. Don't listen to me, but you know, it's just kind of sad how you know, we have to put in the work ourselves, and then right behind us, you know, we're sweeping up, right, cleaning up the place, and then right behind us you have somebody with muddy boots just dirtying it all up right after you, just to be a nuisance and just to be upset and jealous and envious. It's kind of really pathetic. When it comes down to Niantic wrongfully, now let's put a little blame on Niantic. What about them? Is any of this, you know, do they need to be paying more attention? Now we have to think about this, and I'm not going to back them up. I'm just going to look at it logically, and let's talk about it. I couldn't give you a number of how many of these things are being submitted on the daily, by the week, by the month. And of course, they're not going to be manually looking at these themselves. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's a lot of AI learning machine doing a lot of these things for us, and also the people who are actually verifying them within WaySpot itself, because it's not all automated. They do have to go through a process of being checked by another person. But I do believe there's a lot of AI behind the scenes for this too, though. But yeah, so we are part of the voting process, but they should run a little bit better, because when it comes down to this, somebody who moved the spot, the Pokestop, apparently if it's by Niantic, if they've deemed it to not be in the exact spot, say, all right, for instance, for this situation here, she had a stop. Somebody moved it to away from where she originally put it, where it was correctly at. She's like, oh, okay, puts it back to that spot where it should be. Niantic reviews it, deems it, oh, that's not where it's supposed to be, even though that's where it's supposed to be, and that's where it originally came from. But somebody had a troll there and put it over here, and now she's gonna get a warning for that, or we are gonna get, or anybody's gonna get a warning, right? That to me is do better. Okay, do better. You got a lot of money here. These are loyal people. Not only are we investing time in this game to make these stops, but we're also investing our money, right? A lot of money. I would assume that they paid money before for this game. I mean, if you're putting in that many stops, I'm assuming you're probably going to be spending some money in this game as well. But this is how we're treated, with a slap in the face for trying to make things correct. Thanks to the people who want to take away all the fun and take advantage of the incorrect kind of process that you have to go through to kind of get these things put back into the spot here. People are just taking advantage of the system, I guess you can call it. But just wanted to put that out there. This is not anything to be like, oh, be scared of submitting Pokestops, right? That's not what this should be. Make them accurate, make them at the right spot, and do all the process correctly. Good description, whatever you need to do. Even though I've seen some pretty very limited ones as far as descriptions, not that you really need too much. And I made something perfect, you know, put a great description and nothing too crazy, you know, very simplistic, and it gets rejected. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. But at the end of the day, do be a little careful on what you're doing when it comes to waste spot, because you just might get a warning. And for the people who want to act all like trolly, you're probably smiling. Yeah, have a little laugh. Hey, you're the one who's against yourself here, okay? Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.